We're going to build more housing in this city. There's no two ways about it. We just passed the MBTA Communities Act, which allows for more development in the city as of right. There are multiple projects that we've approved already that are underway in the city, or some have been stalled, and that's a different issue. But we're going to have more housing in the city, and that's a good thing. What I would say, though, it's critically important as a city that we plan for that additional housing. So if we're going to, we have 90,000 residents in the city. If we're going to be at 100 or 105 or even 110,000 residents in 20 or 30 years, what do we need by way of city services to help those folks? To make sure that we have the parks, the athletic fields, the schools, all those services that we're going to need to make sure that we can successfully incorporate it. I think what we can also do as a city is really enact better rules, and I think our city council is actually working hard on that, to try to avoid what we call the McMansion effect, where people are just, and they're developers primarily, knocking down a perfectly good house and building to the absolute limits and really overwhelming that neighbors. That doesn't do anything to solve our housing problem. In fact, it probably exacerbates it. No, I think we've got to be careful here. People have property rights, their houses are valuable. You don't want to unduly limit what people can do, but I think there's a balance there. And that balance is by making sure you have appropriate setbacks, make sure you have appropriate stormwater runoff issues, you make sure you have appropriate green space and plantings whenever you do that. You put in place practical rules that will allow for development, but not have development that's overwhelming. And I think with the larger projects, you think strategically about where you want those to be, where you want them to grow. And something I've learned that's critically important in this process, I want developers from day one to talk to the neighbors, talk to the abutters. Why? You're not probably going to make everybody happy, but something I've learned over my many years on the Land Use Committee is when you talk to people, when you try to address their concerns, and often a good developer can address concerns of a neighbor or an abutter, you actually get a better project, and you build consensus. So I'm not going to be okay with developers coming in just saying, here's what we're going to do, take it or leave it. That doesn't work. And it doesn't mean that you have to address every single concern of every single neighbor, because that may not be practical. But you got to be talking to one another. And when you're talking to one another, you get better development in this city. I'm Mark Laredo. I'm running to be the next mayor of Newton, and I ask for your vote in the general election.